let's talk about how I created this patch in just 5 minutes using the latest update of the Faderpunk. Now there's a lot in this update, but for this video, I'm only going to be focusing on the 3 new apps, the TB3, GenSequencer, and the Automator. So first up is the TB3, which is the new acid style pattern generator. So for this one, of course, we have to do some acid stuff. I'm using the Erica Synths Bassline. I have channel 1 from Faderpunk going into the volt per octave input on the bassline, which means that channel 1 is controlling the pitch sequence. So this fader on channel 1 changes the density of the generated pattern. So down low, the sequence is more sparse and repetitive. And as I bring it up, the pattern gets more active and starts moving around more melodically. So let's listen to this in practice. And right now it's just a dry signal, no reverb, no delay, just so we can hear the changes that I'm making as I'm moving the fader. And the function button under channel 1 does 2 things. A quick press reseeds the pattern, so you get a totally new acid line. So just like that, you get instant variation live on the fly. And if I hold the function button while moving the channel 1 fader, that fader changes the clock resolution. So you can slow the pattern down, you can speed it up, or push it into faster divisions. And what channel 2 does is that it controls the pattern length. So you can make it a tiny repeating loop or open it up into a longer phrase. So here it's super tight, closed loop. And here you get a longer pattern, a longer phrase. And the function button under the second channel triggers the accents on and off. And since channel 3 is patched into the accent input of the bassline, this button basically is deciding whether to use those accents or not. So you can see the LED indicator here showing that every time it's firing, those are the accent notes that you're hearing. And now they're no longer being triggered. And channel 3 transposes the entire pattern in semitones, so you can move the whole pattern up or down without changing the generated rhythm. Now if you hold shift and move channel 3, what you're doing is you're changing the octave offset instead, which gives you much bigger jumps. So here you're not getting as big of a jump because when I held shift, I left it all the way at the bottom. So let's keep it right in the middle. So now the jump is much more drastic, much more dramatic. I love that you can just reseed the entire sequence on the fly. It's so quick, it's so intuitive. And if we just give it a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, we start getting into some gnarly techno territory. known to get carried away. So let's just keep the delay and reverb on now for a little bit, just so things sound a little more palatable. So moving on to the next new app, the generative sequencer. So for this patch, I'm using the Noise Engineering Debel Iteritas, and channel 1 of this new app is going into the pitch input of the Debel. This channel is the melodic part of the generative sequencer. So channel 1 fader controls the pitch range or pitch amount. Lower settings keep the sequence tighter, and higher settings let the generated melody move across a wider range. So let's listen to this. I may sound like a broken record, but just the fact that you have immediacy of changing of your sequence on the fly, you can come up with so many different things while you're performing live, and that's why I love this thing so much. That's why you've been seeing so many videos on this thing so much. So moving on to the second channel. Actually, before I move on to the second channel, I forgot to mention that if you hold the function button below channel 1 and you move the fader, it's mutating the pitch register. So while you hold it, the pitch pattern evolves and changes. So much. Because if you're, let's say this is your sequence, this is your melodic sequence, and you're really liking this part, and then, you know, in the middle of a live performance you want to change it up, I'll just change up the voice a little bit. Time, so that the entire time your sequence is evolving, it's never staying stale, it's always progressing, and it's always sounding different. Even though the voice and the pitch information might be the same, the actual sequence is changing, and it's more so of those small nuanced changes that keep a live performance feeling alive. Now, actually moving on to channel 2. Channel 2 is just going into the trigger input of the Debel. Now, this is the rhythmic part of the app, so the channel 2 fader controls the generated length or phrase structure. So changing this fader changes how the rhythm cycles. And with shift held, channel 2 controls legato amount. So instead of every trigger feeling totally separate, I can get more connected or held behavior. And the function button below channel 2 mutates the length of the register. So it changes the rhythmic structure of the generated pattern. So just more variation at your fingertips. And channel 3, just for modulation, is going into the index input of the Debel. And this is where things can get really animated. You can send this to obviously any part, but I'm just sending it to the index because I like the variation that it gives. So with this, when you hold shift and then move the fader, you're controlling how much of the accents are being triggered. So right now, fully accented. no accents, somewhere right in the middle. So you hit that sweet spot. So moving on to the third and final app that we're going to talk about today, that is the Automator right here. So for this, I'm sending Automator into the filter cutoff of the Loquelic Iteritas, and the Automator is a one-channel app, so the fader is the main control, and when there's no loop recorded, the fader works in pass-through mode. Moving the fader directly changes the filter cutoff in this case. So you can see I have something that's already recorded, so this holding the function button and moving the fader records the movement. And you can see how much of that is going through. Now if I hold shift, the fader becomes an attenuator. So I can make the automation more subtle or more extreme. I just have it all the way up because it's already an offset. So yeah, super fun to play with that. And if I press shift plus the function button, it clears the loop and it goes back into normal pass-through mode. Right, so now nothing's recorded, you just cleared your loop. Now, I can already feel myself about to start diving into the quick little outro jam, but before we officially do that, I just have to say thank you to ATOF for having me be a part of this series covering the Faderpunk. You can check out the Faderpunk in the description down below. Thank you so much for checking it out. As always, keep patching, keep playing, keep pushing, and I'll see you in the next one.